it is so important that they get the pitch process right.
These things breed trust, and that's got to be the foundation.
If you start with some kind of slightly nasty, subversive behaviors at the beginning, then the relationship, the partnership just isn't going to work.
Right, hello mate. Hello from New York.
Hello from London.
So today we're talking about, we've been inspired a little bit by a story that's come out of Malaysia. So for us to start talking again about questionable and potentially unethical pitch practices.
Yeah.
So this is something which is rather perennial. It seems to come around in different parts of the world again and again. Basically what's going on is we've got the trade bodies representing the advertising agencies and the advertisers in Malaysia arguing about practices which the advertising agency trade body, the 4As, is accusing advertisers of burying small print into their pitch terms, which allows advertisers to retain IP. This is something that's happened, I think there was an argument last year in the UK about this as well. But what it's exposed is this kind of tense relationship in pitches, right, between advertiser and agency. And so it's kind of raised a bit of a red flag for us.
Absolutely. And it's another spotlight on the pitch process that is just too important to get wrong. The reason that we keep, talking about the importance of pitches is firstly, it's because agencies that are participating in media pitches, certainly that we work on, invest an enormous amount of time, effort, and money in participating in trying to secure the client's business. And secondly, on the client's behalf, it is so important that they get the pitch process right. If there is any kind of questionable ethics or the integrity of the pitch process is brought into question at the very beginning, how can you then establish a trusting, transparent, healthy working relationship once you've selected the agency you want to work with? Any really good relationship begins with designing a robust and ethical and pitch process that is full of integrity. And this is another example in Malaysia this time of just kind of shoddy behavior.
And these pitches are tense times, right? Everybody's under pressure. Everyone's invested on both sides a lot of time and money and resources. It's interesting just to kind of think how these things kind of get resolved, because they have to see, have to be gesture on both sides. At the moment, in this Malaysia example, there's a bit of a standoff going on. In our experience, we've seen in pitches which, these kind of gestures are made by advertisers, either by offering up a stipend, a small fee for agencies that are pitching. That's really good for, I think, the advertiser. It focuses the mind. It keeps the kind of the shortlist short and focused. We've had examples of advertisers where they've compensated the losing agency. A small amount. It probably doesn't. Well, I'm sure it certainly doesn't cover the actual cost of pitching, but it's a good gesture and it's a good acknowledgement of the effort and resources that go into it. And then we've even had actually an advertiser offer to pay or contribute to travel expenses where there's been international pitch requiring teams to fly around the world. So these are gestures of respect, I think, for the agencies and the amount of effort that goes in. But they breed, these things breed trust, and that's got to be the foundation. The pitches in isolation is a kind of one event, but really what's important is what happens after that.
That's right.
And if you can breed trust and respect during the pitch process, then you've got a really good chance of maintaining that through a productive and long-lasting relationship.
And it's about illustrating behaviors. As a client, you need to convince the agencies that are tendering for your business that you're going to be the right kind of client. You're going to be the kind of client that is going to inspire the right kind of work, and that begins with the behaviors by which they set out the process. And equally, from the agency's perspective, they need to illustrate by going through the process that they exhibit the right kind of behaviors of a potential partner. And generally speaking, when a client gets it right, when they when they design a process that is respectful, as you rightly say, when there is perhaps some form of a financial gesture, however small, it raises that client's status within what is now a very cluttered market into one of a priority for those agencies to tender. So it's a great example, the ones that you mentioned of brands that are illustrating a sense of respect to the process and to the agencies that are going to be participating in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And you know, like last week we did an episode about blockchain, right? And we talk a lot about you know, computer impact and technology impact on this industry. I mean, it's another example where it just flags up. It's still a people business.
Yeah.
You know, as most business still is. So, and that level of kind of human connection and that ability to trust each other at the beginning of a relationship is critically important. Right, before we go into good week, bad week, so we'll just catch up on some of the news that we teased you with last week. We were talking about how we're expanding our US operation. So we are now kind of officially incorporated in the US as a legal entity. We're planning to move at least of the team from London to join the team in New York. And I think as of today, we're releasing details of 3 positions where we'll be recruiting in New York this year. So exciting moment for the business. We are very privileged to work with many major advertisers around the world, many global relationships. But it's an opportunity for us to focus and service the demand coming from US domestic advertisers. Here. We'll still be focusing on, you know, the optimum relationships between advertisers and their external partners, and helping businesses go through media transformation and change.
That's right. I mean, these are hugely exciting times for ID Comms. We consider ourselves to be a global practice anyway, but you know, having now an office in New York and an office here in London, we can share best practice. You know, helping our clients all over the world. So this is a really exciting move for us.
Yeah, indeed. We'll talk about this again, no doubt. You'll be able to find down below links to more details about this on our website, which also can link you through to job positions. So if you're interested, if you're based in or around New York and you're interested in joining our expanding team and getting involved, please do get in contact. Right, okay, good week 4.
Well, it's been an even better week for the same company that had a good week last week. So this week, it's been a brilliant week for Media Monk, which is the Dutch-based digital production company that was being courted by Martin Sorrell, S4 Capital. They have now done the deal to the tune of 300 million euros. Now, this is a business that generates 100 million in revenue, so that's 3 times its revenue base. I have no idea what multiple it is on its operating profit.
It's going to be double digit, I think.
Yeah. But it's a brilliant deal. There's no earn out for the partners. There's all sorts of kind of share options. So it's more of an acquisition. Sorry, it's more of a kind of a partnership than an acquisition. But that's a brilliant deal for Media Monk. It's a very good, I think, you know, entry point for S4 Capital, you know, and he's only been out of WPP for 90 days. Quite a remarkable, you know, entry to the market. So it's been a very good week for both of those guys.
Yeah, indeed.
Bad week for.
I should add to that. The rumors circulating, as they do, is that his next move is going to be into some form of digital media buying practice to kind of merge with Media Monk. And you know, having paid a handsome multiple, they'll be looking to expand that business rapidly, globally, or internationally, I should say. So, you know, this could be the playbook, which is a digital creative business combined with digital media buying business. Yeah. Interestingly, as one single P&L, that's the ambition, which will be quite different from WPP. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
You wouldn't bet against him. Okay, so and it's been a bad week for.
Well, I mean, it's another slightly sad week for Facebook. We've had another story of a whistleblower come out. If you remember, I think we might have mentioned that back in April, stories were emerging from their content moderation department, which is a frankly very thankless task. I mean, these poor people and thousands of them are having to view really quite horrific content, and with their best efforts trying to kind of screen this stuff out before it goes onto Facebook. There's just some interesting insights that come out of it. The lady that's spoken out this week, she's in her late 20s. She was employed by actually a third party called Vertiv Systems. So they're not actually, a lot of them I don't think are, as we've mentioned, I don't think are Facebook employees.
Yeah.
But she's detailed really the practice, and it just makes it look like it's not really an optimal system. I mean, you've just got armies of people, unfortunately, having to view horrific content, reporting that's giving them, stress and nightmares. This just doesn't look like a kind of healthy thing. It just unfortunately makes Facebook increasingly look quite a toxic environment.
Not good.
No. But moving on. Question of the week. So question of the week related to our first topic is, should advertisers be paying agencies to participate in pitches? Yes, no, whatever. Excellent. Good. Well, that's your media snack from New York and London this week. Thank you very much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out the jobs below. But bye for now. See you next time.